All right, we're starting. I hope my audio is good today because yesterday it wasn't actually like the stream that we did yesterday. It wasn't good. The audio was not so clear. I hope it's clear. Yeah, I hope this one is clear. Today? I hope it is. Yep. I hope it is.
Help is this?
Okay, yeah, I think it's working. I will also try to test the music low on the low.
Low on the low. Low.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I think we can start. Yeah. So we continue from where I left off yesterday. I think we were looking at So we can say if hour of day is 20 or 23, right? We should be able to do that. Yeah, since it okay, how will we change this? What will be the syntax here? What we want to do here is if it's less than 22, it does this, yeah. If it's equal to 22 or 23, then it should be this. So this is the one. So it's a function. Actually, they did exactly what we did. So this function returns how much ice cream there is left in the fridge. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's already written like this. What should we do now? To do? We should fix the test. How do you get the value contained in the option? Is this not what we just yeah. Okay. So it's a different one now. There's nothing in the function, it's just a test. We have a simple option function. We have a target, which is string literal, rustlings, an optional target, which is some target. 1 second. I'm just sharing this. Okay, done. So now let's continue. All right. So we have optional target. We should make this an iflet whose value is sum. So here we have a word. It's not even defined. Optional target. So if optional target can be destructured into word, then we want to assert that word is equal to target. But word is not yet defined, so we or declared rather. So it can be a flat. So it means if optional target can be destructured into word, no. Optional target is a sum, so this has to be optional target can be destructured into some word. Yep. That's what it's gonna be. And then layered option, we have a range 10. Optional integers is a vector of options. It's declared to be initialized with to be a vector that has one item, which is 1 for I and I up to range, pushing some I into the vector. We get a cursor, which is range. We should make this while let statement. Remember that vec.pop adds another layer of option. You can do nested pattern matching in if let and while let statements. Okay, so we should make this a while let. So first we iterate from 1 to 10 and we push options into vector. Now we get a mutable variable cursor, which is 10, and we are doing the vector dot pop while it's possible to destructure from vector dot pop to some integer. Then we want to assert that the integer value and cursor are equal, and then we decrement the cursor. So it's a reverse loop. No, this is giving us option of option. Remember that vector pop adds another layer of option. How do we? I think we can do a. Don't we have dot flatten on it? Is an option. Expected types, mismatch types expected nm of option i8 found was type i8. Integer I is an option, yep, and cursor is the value. So I want to get the value there. well, we can do nested pattern matching. Actually, they didn't have flatten here. I was just doing that one. I think what they I think I liked what I had before. I have flattened here. At this point I have an option. Yep. And input the value from here. This is still an option actually. simply do a dot, flatten here, and simply do the unwrap there. So this is a yeah, that's all we needed to do actually. I was wondering why I was doing that really. If it's a sum, we print this. Otherwise, we panic. And then we want to print optional point again. Like print optional point here. We're saying that this has here because it's used. bound to n. Okay, match if its value bound to n is equal to 42. You could also use some 42 and print 42, but that would require changing 42 into spots. Should you ever change it? Also use some n if n equals 42 and print this. That will not contribute to this check, although in this case that will be part of the catch up. Fix because yeah, I tried to test it. Okay, so now I stop the music. But you hear me well, right? At least my voice is clear. Okay. Yeah, I think it has something to do with the compressor that I'm using. Yeah, I changed a few things in the setup yesterday. I think I broke that. Yeah, so for now I'll just leave music out. Yep. Thanks for letting me know because I was trying to figure out a way to test that. Okay, so yeah, so we've done the binding here. And by the way, this is Rustlings. We are looking at the option. Yep. So we're solving the option exercise here, or exercises here. Yep, and that's what we're doing. So we have a binding. We bind the value here, but we still have this. We shouldn't change this line. Borrow of partially moved value. So optional point is moved here. And then we want to use it here, and that's the problem. Maybe ref on what? On the match or not on the match? You mean on this? Can we do that? Oh, we can. Okay. Okay, nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, I looked at this binding and I didn't really, I mean, we just glossed over it, but at least now we see that, we see it in action. First, we can match on the reference, and then we bind to to concrete types here, or as you call it, a particular point here, and that will do it. Okay, I think that's solved. We go to the next one. Error handling. Okay, so we're done now with option. So it's error handling now. What are you doing? Okay. Yep. So we just quickly go through this and try to solve the exercises on error handling. So basically, with errors, we have the result enum over OK and error variance over the generics T and E. And this is an example with opening a file. Okay. And file open returns a result where T would be the file or E would be the error. And T here will be the actual file. And E is stdio error. Okay. So we can match on the result that's returned, and then OK file, otherwise take care of the error. Okay. Yeah, so just like the option, results has the enum and its variants already brought into scope by prelude. Okay. So we don't need to do all of this. Nice. This is about matching on different errors. So here we have the error variant, and then we now match on the error kind. And based on the kind of error, if it's, oh wait, match on error kind, and then it can be, if it's in not found, we also match, if it's in not found, we match on the results from file create, which can be okay or error. Okay, now this is very much nested. I think there's a way to do this with the short circuit operator. We'll probably see that after go. But yeah, this just shows what can happen. Okay. Alternatives to using match with result T. That's a lot of match, like we are just saying. So we'll learn about closures, which are used with many of the methods. Okay. So another way to write the same logic, we have a greeting file, and we do unwrap or else. So we try to get the file, that's what's in T, or we provide a function to the closure here. We take the error, and then we do this, which is exactly the same thing. Okay. Doesn't contain any match, and it's much cleaner to read. Okay, we also do unwrap or else again here too. Yeah, it's just processing the error. Okay. Unwrap or else method. Think standard reference actually. I wanted to see the unwrap or else signature. Yeah, so it's a function. It returns T. Yep, okay. I think that's pretty important. An example here is count. Returns a usize. And it has extra length there. So here we're doing okay the value dot unwrap or else count. Okay. What? What is this? So you have arrow full dot unwrap. If this succeeds to unwrap, wait. This is yeah. This is a result. Let's can we do this? Yep. It doesn't print anything actually in the standard output. Forgot we are not in, so val is 3. Right. Okay. So what we're looking at here is count is a function that counts the length of the string. Yeah. And that's what's going on here. So when we say arrow foo unwrap or else, and we provide count to it, the or else is what is going to be executed because this is an error. But if I say this, this should be 2. Val should be 2. Yep. Okay. Yeah, because it cannot unwrap is going to try to get the the value in the OK variant, but there's no OK variant here, and this, so that's why that makes sense. Yep. Okay, I think that's what I wanted to see there. Probably should. Okay, So I wanted us to look up the unwrap or else method. Wait, there was also something. Where is this? Is the only example they give here. Okay, well, it's just a function. It can we can write this as a closure, and it will be the same, right? So yeah, shortcuts for yep, yeah. So shortcuts for panic on error. So yeah, but it doesn't using match works well enough, but it's verbose and doesn't communicate the intent very well. So result has many helper methods. More specific, the unwrap one method is a short circuit. Mhm. If the result is an OK, we just call unwrap to return the value inside of the OK. If it's an error variant, calling unwrap will call panic macro for us. Yeah. So here it will panic because there's no file at this point. That's what will happen. So it gives us no such file or directory. Yep. Similarly, the expect method also choose this. Let's us choose to panic. Let's us also choose the panic error message. Yep. Using expect instead of unwrap is just for us to provide good error messages. Okay. But it will still be the same. It should just panic as well. Okay. Propagating errors. Says when a function's implementation calls something that might fail. Instead of handling the error within the function itself, you can return the error to the calling code. Yep. That's when you return a result. So this is to read username from file, and we do result string, which will be the username itself and the error. So we try to open the file, and we try to get the username. We get it as a string. No, we just declare a string, mutable string, and now we call read to string from username file. Yeah. If it's an OK, return username, otherwise error. Okay. This function can be written much shorter way. So we'll do match twice here. We're going to start off by doing a lot of it manually. That's to explore error handling at the end. We show a shorter way. Okay. If the function succeeds without any problems, the code that calls this function will receive an OK value with the string. Yeah. And this function reads from the file. If the function encounters any problems, the calling code will receive an error value. I need to hold an instance of the IO error. Okay, it's talking about why we don't specify a return here. Yep. So so it says here the pattern of propagating errors is so common that it provides shortcut, which is the question mark operator to make it easy. Yeah, this is much easier. So you read this enemy from file. It returns a result, which is a string, or the error, and then say username file. I mean, we read the file, create a string, and we call read to string from the file. Return OK username. Yep. Let's write this piece of code. Oh, come on. All right. So I have a hello.txt. I expect that's where it should be read from. We'll see in a bit. And okay, so let's have a program. And we let's have that function to read username from file. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to do this. It should return for us a result. String. And wait. Okay, I can just say error. No, I don't want to do that. Wait, can I do that? I want to do IO error. Yeah, this is what I want to do. But I think it doesn't work like that. So, yep, this is what I want to do. Yeah, mismatch types, of course. So, if I say return OK and that, then wait. Oh yeah. Then it would take care of just returning an empty string first of all. But now let's do this. Yeah. um, let's say this is file name. Um, and then here, okay. So now let's start to try to read this file. What was that again? I think it was like file. What's the API for reading file again that we saw? I think it was probably here, right? Yep. Okay. File system file. Yep. Open. So opening the file returns us result of file and error. This takes a path, which can actually be file name, which can be resolved from that, right? Can do this. This is unused. Yep. So meanwhile, here, I think we can do this, right? Yeah, because that can return an error, and the error can automatically be short-circuited back to the, because it's the same type, it can be returned from here right away. So we can say I think it was a read, right? Is it called read? And it's a string. No method read. Yep. What is that method? When we have a file open, dot what? Oh, this is a result, by the way. It's going to be, it's a file actually at this point. So what do we have on file? Yeah, I mean, I just want to write this. Is it in file? This is actually file. Oh, read to string. Yep. So it's not read. read to string, read to end. The one I didn't see it there. And by the way, this returns what? Read to string. No method. Are you asking if I'm practicing Rust for study? I just like the language. Yeah. And I have an app I was working on already a while ago, and I'm just trying to recall the syntax of the language again so I can continue working on what I was doing. Um, yeah, I don't use it on a day to day at work. Yeah, but right. Is it okay? I don't know. I think Rust is not the It's not the last language I'm going to play with. Um I just like to try different languages, and right now I'm just doing Rust. So yeah, each string takes um you know what? Do you do Rust yourself on a day to day? File open. Attempts to open a file read mode. Yeah, returns the result on file. Yeah. It's read to end. It takes this. So I mean this is an example. So why if you don't need to read the file contents, you can use read to string. Which takes oh, wait, so why did we even need to do that? We can just do read to string at once for the path. Reads the entire content of a file into a string. So what you are providing is the path to the file. This is a convenience function for file open. Basically, we don't need to even do file open. This is why it's in read to string. Sadly, no, you're right. Trust in your free time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically, it's a convenience function for using file open and read to string with fewer imports. What is read to string is on. Okay. So yeah, this will be on the file. Yep. Is that in from file dot so read to string um why does it say there's no method named read to string? What is that? You have a file, no method named read to string for struct file in this current scope. What? No, it doesn't. Oh, we have to. Is it? Do we have to? You have file open, and we're doing read to string. Oh, is I think it's a signature that's a problem. Has to take a mutable reference. That's the issue. You have to create immutable reference here. But that is not the problem. Hmm. The method named. Do I need to import? Oh, could it be because I don't have file? Wait, what is this? No, exactly. It's not. That's not the reason. So the method named read to string for struct file in the current scope. So file comes from something else in this case. If based on what we see. Let's see, what did we get wrong here? File, stdfs file, that's what we have. Import stdio read. Perhaps, okay. Open. You say we should import because that function comes from there. So you want us to import stdio read. Oh, read to string you mean, right? No. We have, okay, let's just use the imports that's here. We have file, but they also, okay, no, this is stdio read. You mean the trait read, right? But does that have? No, that's not it. Username from file. This is interesting actually. Oh, okay. I think I have a different error here. Consider changing this to be mutable. Um. Okay. What? Interesting. So it's about the read trait. Okay. Right. Okay, that's interesting. So this was not available until we brought the read trait into scope. Why is that here? And the implementations. So this, well, we're looking at the read. It has these methods, including, right. This is why it makes sense. Yep, okay. So it also has read to string. Nice, okay. That's why. Um, but I saw something on the example there. This here. Is this not why it worked in their own example? I think it was why, right? Um, Let me see. Oh, look. Okay. Yeah, they also imported. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So that example imported the prelude. Um, I mean everything from prelude like that, but this explicitly added the read like you were talking about before. All right. Because this used read to end. Okay. Okay. I think I didn't. I missed that. I wasn't looking. Which means this is not supposed to work. I mean, it's not supposed to compile this one here. Yeah, of course, but we should have this same error here. Oh, but okay, I guess in this sandbox environment, you probably have that there. So, but anyway, same thing. Those structures. Okay. Anyway, we get that. So now we have this, and this returns us what use size and error read to string. But this is not what we expect. This is supposed to be a string. Why is it use size? Read to string. Where result string. Here's what it should give us back. Yep, that's what it should give us back. If we do this now, then we are getting use size. Okay. You see this? It's I think this is open file name. We have the file. Create a string. We're saying file dot read to string. Why is this use size? This would just be mismatch type. Yeah, exactly. Perhaps the return is the position of the buffer after read. Perhaps the return and username is already updated. File. This is what we're trying to do. where we have a mutable variable file. We have the some variable, mutable variable to hold contents. We're doing file.read to string, and we're doing this. Okay. How are we getting usize? Okay. Is this not wait, hold on. First file. Just going to do this. Okay, so yeah, whatever. Okay, so we have file, we have contents, we read string to file. What is this supposed to be? See, usize. So what is this? Okay, you were saying that perhaps the return is the position of the buffer string of is read and username is already updated. Oh wait, that's correct. That's correct. Yep, I was looking at. That's correct. Yep. So it doesn't. Yep. Okay. I was expecting this return read to string to return that, but no, it's in contents. Yep. Okay. Yep. So this is not necessary. So it's already in contents. Yep. So we just need to return content here. Yep. Read username from file. Okay. This is going to be file name and mismatch types. What? Okay, unit type. Yeah, this would work here unless we return result. Right. I think what's wrong? expected trait. Found struct. What is supposed to be returned from this? I mean, this is what error should come from where? Is it IO error or no? I think it's from where should that be from, by the way? I think I saw that somewhere here. Is it not? Was it here? No. I think I don't want to miss where we left off, but maybe I'm gonna copy this. You have IO error in the scope. It's a struct. IO error. This one here, you mean? Yeah, this should not be IO error, right? Yeah, the trait std error is different. Yeah, exactly. Where does that come from then? Needs the trait. Yeah, where does that come from? I'm trying to recall where that trait comes from. Standard error. Okay, yeah. Oh, come on. Yep. Okay. Yep. This can go away. And results must be used, right? Well, unused. Oh, that's fine. We just okay. Okay, and then so we need a string from here, or maybe we can actually do this. Can we? We can. Yep. Okay. I think I had created a file there, so no file, such file found. Nice. So I have hello.txt here. I guess it should not be here, right? It should be in the where would it find the file? Maybe in the root folder. Okay. We'll try again. Okay, yeah, that's where you would find from. So not here. Okay, so yep, we got it. Username is Ladahuru from root. Right. Yep. Okay. So yeah, let's see how we run through this one and finish it. Um, what else is there? So this is about reading character of first line. You do lines, next, chars, and last. And all the while it returns results. The function returns option char. Okay. You go to sleep now. All right, thanks, Frogniverse. Yeah, it's nice having you here today. At least, yeah, you helped with understanding this part. Yeah, thanks. Have a good evening. Okay, so I'm looking for. Okay. Trait. What you're referring to? The trait object, shared behavior. Okay, I think it's a panic or not a panic. What else? No, I think we're done now with that. So we're done with, I mean, error handling. So it's generics next. But I think I'll continue with that tomorrow. So we'll continue from here tomorrow. Yeah. We'll continue with generics tomorrow. Yeah, I really like generics. So yeah. All right, then we have a good evening and see you tomorrow hopefully. Bye.